à toutes.
Well, to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the 14th edition of the Perimat Days. Last year, over 600 people took part in this essential event of the French maritime aviation and transport insurance market. This year, we'll have over 850. And I think yes. Well, I'll use this applause to thank more specifically Pascal Dubois and the whole CESAM team for all the efforts made to once again organize this event flawlessly. Over 850 participants. Over 850 participants, and just as a nice and international turnout, with 40 nationalities represented. This really proves how dynamic the French market is. This proves it without really being necessary. And also, last September, we saw that Frédéric Denef was elected as president of IUMI, and that shows how relevant this market is. And we can give Frédéric some applause for this election. Our sector of maritime aviation and transport insurance sails, flies, and drives in a worrisome year world marked by constant challenges and tensions that led us to place geopolitical challenges at the heart of our meeting. Unfortunately, Jean-Yves Le Drian will not be with us today, and he sincerely apologizes for that. His mission as personal envoy for Lebanon that was given him recently by the President of the Republic, Emmanuel Macron, took precedence in his schedule, which we perfectly understand. But he was replaced at the last minute by Cédric Poirier-Courtanzé, who will grace us with his presence as director of the research department of the Strategic Research Center of the Navy, and he'll be with us in a minute with Nicolas Bétou, founder of L'Opinion. Then this afternoon, we'll talk about geostrategic and sovereignty aspects around marine and space powers, and then we'll listen to Olivier Poivre d'Arvor, who is the President's envoy to the third conference of the UN on oceans and the ambassador for the POGs and maritime challenges. Risks like cyber risk, called emergent risk, not so long ago, are here to stay. Our industry constantly needs to adapt to the constant changes in this risk. So naturally, we are going to devote a whole session to it. So tomorrow morning, we'll have the best specialists on this topic. Trends in terms of risks and claims that were highlighted last year in the previous edition are still present. The giant ships, disruptions in the supply chain, and fires on board. It's expected that over 2/3 of the fleet's growth in the next 2 years will be focused in the container ship segment, over 15,000 20-foot equivalent, and the fleet of ships under 3,000 20-foot equivalents will shrink. And a ship owner took delivery of the One Innovation, a giant container ship of 24,000 20-foot equivalents. So that confirms that this trend is continuing. And in this context, last year, Uwe Schindler, vice chair of the Loss Prevention Committee of IUMI, talked about the fire risk on container ships. He graces us with his presence once again this year to share his knowledge about issues that have to do with container loss on board. And this year he'll do this with Eric Banel, who is the Director General in charge of Maritime Affairs. This year we'll also focus on land insurance risk, more specifically increased risk of theft. The technical excellence of our insurance industry will be given pride of place to more than ever highlight the importance of how well policy should be drafted given the new risks that we are faced with and that we constantly need to adapt to. Social and environmental issues will also be at the heart of our proceedings. Social and environmental issues that our industry and companies have tackled full-on. Sustainability and decarbonization, we are going to discuss this year under a practical angle, and also the management of space debris, space waste. Innovation will also be present too. Innovative companies will highlight their projects that might change the future. And Professor Boucher, with his usual passion, will explain how the sea is the key to history and to our future. So in order to innovate, we need to know our history, and I'm sure that Professor Boucher will convince us of that definitively. But before the professor, a student will walk on stage to receive our traditional student award, and this will be at the end of the morning. But I will now declare this 14th edition of the Paris Maths event open.